As you may know by now, hundreds of publicly traded companies have received PPP loans. Robert Frank's with us with a look at who got some of those loans, who's returning the money, and why that returned money isn't necessarily going to small business. Hey, Robert.
Good morning, Carl. Well, more than 200 publicly traded companies received those PPP funds, and the total amount for those public companies now $862 million. That's according to new SEC filings compiled by FactSquared. Now, the backlash against all these publicly traded companies receiving money that was intended for small businesses escalated over the weekend with new details about the two largest receivers of PPP funds. Now, companies affiliated with Texas hotel owner Monty Bennett received over $126 million in PPP funds. Ashford Hospitality Trust, that's a REIT that owns dozens of hotels operating under the Ritz-Carlton, Hyatt Regency, and other brands, received or processed $76 million in PPP funds through 117 separate loans. They were kind of treating each hotel as a separate borrower. Now, his Braemere Hotels and Resorts also received an additional $34 million. Ashford saying in a statement that it plans to keep all the funds received under PPP, which were the result of the application process and other specific requirements established by Congress. And then you've got AutoNation, which is, of course, the mega dealership. They received at least $77 million from PPP. It used separate tax IDs for dozens of its more than 300 dealerships. The company saying after a Washington Post article that all the PPP funds would be used only for 7,000 employees and nothing else, and that it is now returning those funds. Now, in addition to AutoNation, we've got 12 other companies that so far have announced plans to return that money, totaling $95 million. Those include Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You've got Shake Shack, Sweet Green, Manning and Napier. They're the investment management company. The SBA is saying that eventually all this money will be recycled and go back into other loans, but it's unclear whether it goes into that first $310 million program, $350 billion program, or whether it will go into the new $310 billion program that starts today. But either way, the SB is saying that some way or other, this $95 million that was returned will go back into the system. But again, we've got over $860 million that went out to publicly traded companies. So most of that is staying with those companies, guys.